NASCAR 21 Ignition is a game that everybody had a very high hope for. Hopes that were not delivered on in the slightest. This is a slightly different video than what I normally do, and I'm hoping that if this one does well, I'll do a few more like it. But for now, this is the first one I'm going to try. NASCAR 21 Ignition was a game that was announced August of last year, and I remember very vividly me and several other people were very, very blown away by what they showed us in the trailer. And the trailer was a very good trailer for a game. It told you everything you needed to know for a game that at that point was still 3 months away. But it obviously looked like it needed polish still. Polish that I don't think was put on the final product. The game released August 28th, 2021. Or October 28th, sorry. And was very, very unfinished, to say the least. There were bugs. There's still bugs. There are still a lot of bugs. And there were a lot of features that probably should have been there that weren't there. The big one that I can remember is the track map, or the rear view camera. Now, this game was supposed to be the game for the series. This was supposed to be a big turning point for NASCAR games. And I remember the hype about it was very, very real. And the hype was very, very hyped up, I guess you could say. And people were very excited to play this new game. Now the game comes out, and immediately the game starts being flooded with negative reviews. Because the game is broken, to say the least. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why the game is as bad as it is. We were promised several things that we did not get. We were promised by the company that made the game, Motorsports Games, which in the past has released very, very good quality games. It's this company that you expect and trust with an IP like NASCAR. They promised several updates to the game to fix many of the issues, some which never came, and it's not known why, or why the game released in such a state to begin with when what was shown off was incredible for the time, or for the build of the game that it was. But what was released to us as the finished product was not up to the standard that it should have been, and still is not up to the standard of a game that had as much funding as from a company as big as NASCAR behind it put into this game. And we still don't know why the game is in the state it is in, even though Motorsports Games promised multiple updates to fix these problems. These updates have been very few and far between, and they have even went out of their way to announce their roadmap for the game, which I do not think they have done a very good job of following through with. Now, we are still not all the way through 2022, but the current roadmap for the game shows that they are planning no updates to fix these issues. They are releasing the season expansion launch in September 2022. We do not know what day, but the update will have the 2022 cars and teams, the updated UI and race HUD, and finally a better wheel support. I don't know what that entails because I do not race with a wheel, but these are problems that are obviously being ignored, and we don't have an answer why. The game only just recently got stages. I think it might have been with the June 2022 patch. It may have come sooner, I do not know. But this is something that should have been with the game to begin with. I do not think it should take this long for us to get answers as to why this game is not fixed. And I do not think that this game should be updated for this year's roster instead of making a new game that potentially fixes these issues. These are issues that are apparently going to plague us at least into mid-2023, as that is when the new game is going to release. But until then, we are stuck with a game that is very broken with no clear explanation as to why. Now, Motorsports Games has been asked about these things, but we have never gotten a clear answer as fans. Then we have the horrible optimization issues. I have a very, very decent PC. You can see footage of me playing the game in the background, and you will notice occasional stuttering. As I was playing this game, I rarely got over 30 FPS. And my computer is not a computer that should struggle to run a game like this. I understand this might be due to the engine that the game is used with. As compared to NASCAR Heat 5, it obviously looks a lot better, and occasionally races better, but still, the game does not have very good optimization. Once again, comparing to NASCAR Heat 5, I feel like the Heat series was finally starting to come into its own at the time that the license was acquired by Motorsports Games. It had several features that were building upon each previous iteration of the game. From NASCAR Heat Evolution to NASCAR Heat 5, there were several fan favorite features that were requested and added, like better create-a-car customization, better online mode, and better AI racing. We got all of those for NASCAR Heat 5. Then Motorsports Games comes and drops the ball with what fans were expecting to be one of the best NASCAR games ever released. I can say, personally, that this game is worse than NASCAR Heat Evolution. NASCAR Heat Evolution was a very flawed game, but that is not entirely because it is a broken game. Comparing the bugs of NASCAR 21 to NASCAR Heat Evolution is pretty much night and day, because I cannot, off the top of my head, think of any game-breaking bugs that NASCAR Heat Evolution had that NASCAR 21 does have. I have had several moments where I'm just trying to race and the game just crashes with no explanation, or freezes, or stutters. And again, this is something that should not happen with a game that is priced in the way that this game is priced. This game was supposed to be NASCAR fans' answer for an iRacing on console, but we obviously did not get that. Instead, we got a lot of broken promises, a lot of letdowns, and I think that is very disappointing. That is very unfortunate for people who do not have access to games like iRacing or NASCAR 2003. And our 2003 is still considered the leading and greatest oval racing simulator on PC, and it is a game that is over almost 20 years old. There are no reasons that NASCAR 21 Ignition should not have been similar quality to racing like that. The pack racing feels decent at best. The short track racing just feels like trash when I race it. And the intermediates are not fun at all in NASCAR 21. Then there's the controller issues I constantly run into. The game does not like controllers, from what it feels like. My controls are very stiff. This could be a personal issue, I do not know. But my controls do not turn very well, and when they do turn, they feel jumpy. And my graphical issues, I have had several instances where the game just refuses to adjust to my new monitor size. I have a very large monitor, and the game does not like that. But I guess I will leave this video here asking you, what were your thoughts on NASCAR 21 Ignition, and if you think that the game can still be saved. Thank you for watching, and I hope I can see you in another video.